Here's your Storm Track 7 forecast.
Happy midday to you folks. This is Storm Track 7 meteorologist Robbie coming out. We're warming up pretty nicely out across eastern Iowa. As you can see, we're all into the 60s right now, even with this increasing cloud coverage. And yes, as you can see off through our west, even a little bit of rain out there in eastern Nebraska, but lots of cloud coverage is heading our way. Thicker cloud coverage will be mostly cloudy later on through the afternoon, and then pretty much just cloudy during the evening time frame and through the overnight period. And then it looks like some showers and storms will begin working into the area as well. We're going to talk all about this coming up in just a moment. But through the rest of the afternoon, I should pretty much cap out in the upper 60s to lower 70s across portions of the area, especially down to the south there. Otherwise, winds will be blowing out of the east around 5 to 15 miles per hour. Now, let's take it step by step again. The rest of the afternoon, pretty much thickening cloud coverage. Again, especially into the evening time frame, pretty much just completely cloudy. Maybe by the time the sun sets later on this evening. Now you will notice around the 12 or 1 o'clock hour by early tomorrow morning, some of these showers and storms starting to approach from the south and southwest. We'll talk more about that again in just a second, but that's the time frame we're looking for the onset for some of those southern locations. Showers and storms are going to be pretty much likely, especially once we're past midnight, especially towards the pre-dawn hours, the farther north that you are. Now in terms of that, those lows, they're going to be pretty mild overnight, especially with all that cloud coverage and with the approaching showers and storms, mostly in the middle 40s for northern areas and then upper 40s to near 50 for some of those central and southern locations. Now back to future track here, like I mentioned, once we're past midnight and creeping towards those pre-dawn hours, these bands of showers and storms will continue shifting off to the north and northeast, and here we are around 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. Again, just pretty much bands of showers and storms across portions of the area. Same idea by the time you head into the mid-morning hours, as you can see. Now, the big question here, again, still one of the main questions with everything, where did this warm front set up in the first place? The latest trends have been farther to the south. So with that, farther south, the warmer air at least, further south that stays, that is, the less likely it is that we see any severe weather, or at least it would minimize the threat for severe weather. As you can see, 8 a.m. tomorrow morning, still in the 40s for central and northern areas. As you can see, mostly in the lower 50s for southern areas. Those will creep up a little bit with this particular model. Far southern areas reaching the upper 50s to near 60 degrees. But again, the trends are to push that farther south here. That would help minimize the threat. But we'd still see some generic shower and possibly some general storm activity throughout portions of the area throughout the day. And again, some of those 40s still sticking around the afternoon time frame. That would really minimize the severe threat for northern locations. Still something to keep an eye on south of Highway 30 though, which is why we still have this yellow alert day still in play. I'll show you the outlook in just a moment here, but we'd be talking about all threats of severe weather, the most likely being larger hail and some damaging winds, although you can't rule out a few spin-ups with a few possible tornadoes. But again, the timing for the severe threat at least would be tomorrow afternoon and through the evening time frame. Here's the outlook I was talking about though. Still along and south of pretty much Highway 30, but this is trending to the south. So that's some good news. We could use the rain. I'll show you that in just a second here. But we do want to minimize this threat as much as we can, of course. We talked about the main threats, but in terms of rainfall, this is through Friday morning. Could be a healthy dosage, of course. We do need the rain with how extreme the drought has been, of course. Anywhere from about 1/4 inch to upwards of 3/4 of an inch overall could be possible. Now, if you find yourself under a heavier downpour, maybe a longer duration storm or two, you could see upwards of 1 inch. Now, that would be great, of course, like I mentioned, with how dry it has been. Now, with that city-by-city forecast for Waterloo, Dubuque, Cedar Rapids, and Iowa City, once we get past tomorrow, some of that could linger around Thursday night into Friday morning. We'll begin to dry out through the day on Friday to cap off this work week. Highs still above normal, mainly in the 50s, but as we head into Saturday, winds are going to pick up. A little bit more cloud coverage will begin working back into the area. A little bit cooler as well if you're celebrating St. Patrick's Day on Sunday, of course. Highs in the lower 40s for most, but there it is, Tuesday. That's that first day of spring, and then check it out Wednesday, Thursday next week, back to near 60.